Gemini, stop scrolling. Stop pretending this isn't for you. The cards are already on the table and they are screaming one name, one person, one message that is already in transit toward your phone. This is not a maybe they'll think of you reading. This is a the words are already typed. The thumb is already hovering over send. Reading. The harvest is already in the barn, Gemini. The seed broke soil weeks ago. You just haven't seen the green shoot yet. And I need you to hear what I'm about to stake, because I don't say this lightly, and I don't say it for drama. If this message does not reach you, if your phone does not light up with their name within 48 hours of this video, I will take my grandmother's tarot deck, the one she pressed into my hands the week before she died, and I will burn it on camera. And I will never read again. That is not performance. That is the only honest response to what this deck is showing me right now. This is your person, Gemini, and they are reaching out today, now. I need you to do something physical right now. If you're holding cup, set it down. If you're lying in bed half watching, sit up. If you're in a car at a red light, pull over. I need your hands free and your spine straight. Not because I'm dramatic, because what I'm about to lay down is a transmission, and transmissions require a clear receiver. You cannot absorb this while your thumbs are scrolling another app. You cannot let this land while you're half listening over a podcast or a television. Put the distraction down. Give me your full, undivided, slightly uncomfortable presence. You owe yourself that much because the person I'm describing, your person, owes you the message that's coming, and you owe yourself the dignity of being fully here when I tell you how it arrives. Breathe inches, hold it, let it out slow. Good, you're here now. And I want to say something honest before we go further, because you deserve honesty from me. I don't know your name. I don't know your face. I have never seen you, never met you, never sat across from you at a table. But the cards don't need your face. They read the shape of you, the emotional signature, the specific frequency of the wound you've been carrying, the exact weight of the silence you've been enduring. And the deck insists that the shape it's showing me matches someone watching this right now, someone whose chest just tightened when I said your person, someone whose mind immediately went to a name. You know the name. I don't need to say it. You just said it in your head. That reaction, that involuntary little flinch in your stomach, that's not coincidence. That's the cards confirming I'm in the right room. And I'll say it once more so it lands. I'm not guessing. I'm being shown. The deck is doing the talking. I'm just the mouth. Now, the spread. I'm calling this the severed thread reconnection spread, and I built it specifically for this moment, for this Gemini energy, for this August 2026 window, where something that was cut is being stitched back together by invisible hands. 12 cards, 12 positions, and I'll walk you through every single one before I flip a single card, because you need to understand the architecture of what's being revealed. Position 1, the one who walked away, this is them, their energy, why they left, why they went quiet, what they carried out the door. Position 2, the silence they carried, not your silence. There's what the quiet did to them in the weeks and months after. Position 3, the night they almost reached out. There was a night, Gemini, a specific night. This card shows me what happened. Position 4, what they rehearsed but never sent, the draft. The unsent text, the voicemail they recorded and deleted. Position 5, the reason they stopped, why they pulled back, what convinced them they didn't have the right. Position 6, the thread that never actually broke, the connection that survived the silence. The thing between you that was never actually severed, only buried. Position 7, the catalyst. What is pushing them now? What changed this week, in this August 2026 window, that made the dam crack? Position 8, the message taking shape, the actual words forming, the tone, the energy of the text or call as it builds. Position 9, the door there standing in front of them, right now in this moment, hand on the handle. Position 10, your hands when you receive it, your body, what you'll feel in the first 3 seconds. Position 11, the first words back, what you'll say, what you should say, what the cards want you to know about your response. Position 12, the shape of what comes after, not just the message. The chapter it opens, the architecture of what's built next, 12 cards, 12 positions. This spread is demanding because it doesn't let me soften anything. It doesn't let me say they might think of you. It forces a narrative with a beginning, a middle, and an arrival. It's rare because most spreads let the reader hedge. This one doesn't. This one says, tell them the name, tell them the timing, tell them the words. And I will, but first, I need to turn the first card, and I need you watching. I need you here. Because the moment I flip it, something in your body is going to react, and that reaction is the proof you've been waiting for. Are you ready, Gemini? Take one more breath. The first card turns, the Eight of Cups. And Gemini, I need you to stay very still because this card is them. This is the one who walked away, and the image is unmistakable. A figure with their back turned. Walking into dark water, leaving behind 8 cups that are still standing, still full. They didn't leave because the love was empty. They left despite it being full. That's the cruelty of this card. That's the thing that's been confusing you, you kept asking. But it was good, why did they go? And the deck is showing me, they went because it was good. Because the fullness terrified them. Because they believed, somewhere in their marrow, that they would be the one to knock the cups over eventually. So they left before they could. For some of you, this is a romantic person. A partner, lover, someone whose name you still type into your phone and then delete. Someone who said, I need space, or I can't do this right now, and then the space became canyon and the right now became months. For others, this is a friend. A person who was yours, your ride or die, your 2M phone call, your person who just knew, and then one day they went quiet, not dramatic, not a fight, just slow fade, a read receipt with no reply. A birthday text you sent that got a thank you and nothing after. And for a third group, and I feel this one sharp in the deck, this is family. A parent, a sibling, someone who was supposed to be permanent and instead became a name you don't say at dinner. But here's the turn, Gemini. The Eight of Cups is not card of wanting to leave. It's a card of believing you must. They didn't walk away from you, they walked away from the version of themselves they thought you deserved to have. And that distinction, that tiny, aching distinction, is the key to everything that follows. The second card, the Four of Swords, the silence they carried. And this card shows a figure lying flat, hands folded, 3 swords hanging above them and one beneath. They are in forced rest. Not peaceful rest, enforced rest. The silence they gave you wasn't freedom, Gemini, it was a cell. They locked themselves in it. And every day in that silence they thought about you. Not in a soft, nostalgic way, in a haunting way. The way a song plays in another room and you can't quite hear the words but you know the melody. You were the melody in their silence. For some of you, their silence looked like busyness, new job, new city, new relationship they paraded in front of everyone. But the Four of Swords says, the busyness was the anesthetic. They stayed in motion so they wouldn't have to sit still and feel the shape of your absence. For others, their silence looked like coldness, like they simply didn't care, like you were forgettable. And I need you to hear me right now. You were not forgettable. The card literally shows them lying down, pressing your memory into the mattress beneath them. You were the thing under their spine. You were the thing they couldn't stop feeling even in stillness. And here, I need you to do the identity check. I just described 2 silences, the busy silence and the cold silence. Notice which one landed in your body. Did your shoulders drop at busyness? Did your jaw clench at coldness? That reaction is information. That is your nervous system telling you which thread is yours. Hold that, we'll need it. The third card, the moon. The night they almost reached out, and Gemini. The moon is the card of what happens in the dark, in the half-sleep, in the space between intention and action. There was a night. I'm being shown a specific night, not long ago. Maybe 3 weeks back, maybe less, they were alone. Maybe it was late, past midnight. Maybe they'd had something to drink, not enough to be drunk, just enough to lower the wall by 1 brick, and they opened it. Your name, your number, your profile. They opened it, Gemini. They looked at your face or your last message or your status, and their thumb moved. They started to type. Or they dialed the first 3 digits. For some of you, it was a text. They typed 4 or 5 words, maybe. Hey, I've been thinking, maybe just your name. Comma and then nothing. They stared at it, the cursor blinked, and then they deleted it character by character. For others, it was a call. They pressed the name. The phone rang once, 1 ring, and they hit end. And then they sat in the dark and breathed like they'd run a mile. And for the family thread, it was a holiday, a birthday, a day where the whole family gathered and their chair was empty. And someone said your name, and they felt the pull so hard they had to leave the room. They almost reached out. They almost reached out. And the moon says the reason they didn't was not that they didn't want to. It was that they were afraid of what they'd see in your eyes or hear in your voice when you answered. They were afraid you'd be fine without them. And somehow that terrified them more than the silence. The fourth card, the Page of Cups, reversed, what they rehearsed but never sent. The Page of Cups upright is the sweetest little messenger, a child carrying a cup with a fish poking its head out, offering love shyly, hopefully. Reversed, that cup spills. The message dissolves before it's delivered. The fish flops back into the water. The words go back down the throat. They rehearsed it, Gemini, multiple times in the shower, on a walk. Staring at a ceiling at 3 am, they had a whole speech. Or a whole text, 3, 4 paragraphs maybe. Or maybe just one perfect sentence they turned over and over like a stone in their palm. And they never sent it, not because the words weren't right. Because they decided the words weren't enough. That they owed you more than a text. That showing up half-formed, half-healed, half-sorry would be an insult to what you were to them. And that, Gemini, is the tragedy of this card. They didn't stay silent because they had nothing to say. They stayed silent because they had too much to say and no container big enough to hold it. But the page reversed is not permanent position. It's a card in transit. And what's coming next? Card 5, card 6, the catalyst. The message is going to show you that the rehearsal is over. The cup is being righted. The fish is climbing back out. The words are coming. And this time they're hitting send. The 5th card turns, the 5 of Pentacles, the reason they stopped, and Gemini. This card hurts me to read for you because it's 2 figures walking through snow outside a lit window. They can see the warmth. They can see the glow. They are 3 steps from the door, and they keep walking. Not because the door is locked, because they believe they don't deserve to knock. This is the reason they stopped, Gemini, not anger, not indifference. Shame. They stopped because at some point in the silence became a story they told themselves. I've been gone too long now. They've moved on. I lost the right. If I reach out now, I'll just be the person who disappeared and then crawled back. They built prison out of their own absence and then convinced themselves the walls were yours. For some of you, the romantic thread, they stopped because they saw you looking whole without them. A photo, a mutual friend's story, you laughing somewhere, looking like the sun came back, and they thought, they don't need me. I'd just be a scar reopening. For others, the friendship thread. They stopped because they assumed you were the one who moved on. That you'd found new people, new inside jokes. That your world reorganized around their absence and there was no chair left at the table. And for the family thread, they stopped because of pride. Because someone said something at a gathering, small cruelty dressed as a joke, and they decided the door had been closed on them, so they wouldn't humiliate themselves by trying the handle again. But here's the turn, Gemini. The 5 of Pentacles has a detail everyone misses. The window is lit. The warmth is there. The door was never locked. They just couldn't see that from the snow, and the cards are showing me the snow is melting. Right now, this August, the ground is softening under their feet, and they are looking up, the 6th card, the 6 of Cups, the thread that never actually broke. And I need you to breathe when I say this because this card is tender. It's 2 figures in a garden, one handing the other cup full of flowers, children almost. Innocence, memory, the past reaching into the present with open hands. The deck insists that the connection between you and this person was never severed, not by the silence, not by the months, not by the stories you both told yourselves about being over it or past it or grown beyond it. The 6 of Cups says there is a thread, Gemini, thin, maybe invisible to everyone else, but unbroken. It hums, it vibrates when they think of you. It pulled when you thought of them last week. And yes, you did, don't pretend you didn't. You felt a little tug on a Tuesday or a Thursday, random Tuesday or Thursday, and you thought their name for no reason. That was the thread, that was them. On the other end, pulling without knowing they were pulling. For some of you, the thread lives in a sensory thing, a smell, a song, a specific restaurant you'll never walk into again without feeling their ghost beside you. For others, it lives in a phrase, something they used to say, a nickname, a dumb joke that no one else would understand. And for the family thread, the thread lives in a ritual, a recipe, a way of saying grace or setting a table or folding laundry that you learned from them and still do without thinking. You never stopped doing it. That's the thread. That's the proof. The 7th card, the Wheel of Fortune, the catalyst, what's pushing them now. And Gemini, the wheel doesn't ask permission. It turns, and something turned this week. Something in the last 5 to 7 days shifted in their life, in their chest, in their circumstances, and the thing they'd been holding down, the message, the apology, the "hey, I'm still here" came up like a bubble from deep water. Inevitable, unstoppable. For some of you, the catalyst was external. They ran into someone who mentioned you. They saw something you posted. They drove past a place that was yours. And the wheel spun and the memory hit them sideways, physical, undeniable. For others, the catalyst was internal. A quiet night, a therapy session, a moment of honesty where they said out loud, I miss them. I miss them and I've been pretending I don't. And the saying of it broke the seal. And for the family thread, someone got sick, or someone's getting married, or a date is coming, a birthday, an anniversary, a day that belongs to them, and the wheel says, you cannot let another one pass in silence. The eighth card, the Ace of Swords, the message taking shape, and this is clarity, Gemini. This is a blade cutting through fog. The message is not vague. It's not a hey with nothing behind it. The Ace of Swords says the words are specific. They know what they want to say. They've moved past the rehearsed, fumbling, deleted draft stage. What's forming now is clean, direct. A little raw around the edges, maybe, a little exposed, but true. For some of you, it will start with your name, just your name, and then a comma, and then the truth. I owe you an explanation. I should have said this months ago. I've been a coward and I'm sorry. For others, it will be shorter, blunter. Can we talk? I need to see you. I was wrong. And for the family thread, it might sound almost casual on the surface. Hey, are you around this weekend? But underneath the casual, the Ace of Swords says, this is the most terrified they have ever been. The casualness is armor. The blade underneath is, I miss you and I don't know how to say it without breaking. The message is not hypothetical anymore, Gemini. It is taking shape. The letters are forming. The number is being typed into the search bar. The call is being considered with a hand that shakes. And the wheel is still turning. The next cards are about you, about your hands, about what you'll feel, about what you'll say back. Stay with me. The ninth card, the Chariot, the door there standing in front of, and Gemini, the Chariot is not a gentle card. It is a figure in armor, gripping the reins of two opposing forces, driving forward through sheer will. This is them right now, this minute. Standing in front of the door, your name in their phone, your number under their thumb, and the Chariot says they are terrified. Both horses are pulling in opposite directions. One says, send it. The other says, what if they don't answer? But the figure in the armor is not turning around. The figure is gripping tighter. The figure is going through. For some of you, they're standing in front of the door with a text already written, drafted, edited, rewritten 4 times. The cursor is blinking at the end of the last sentence and their thumb is hovering. For others, they're standing in front of the door with a phone in their hand and your name on the screen, and they've opened the dial pad 3 times. And for the family thread, they're standing in front of the door by asking someone else about you first. A sister, a cousin, a mutual friend. Hey, how's Gemini doing? Are they okay? That question is them touching the handle. That question is the Chariot rolling forward. The 10th card, the 9 of Wands, your hands when you receive it. And this card shows a figure leaning on a staff, bandaged, exhausted, wary. 9 wands stand behind them like a fence they built. And Gemini, this is you. This is what the cards show me about your body in the moment the notification appears. You will not feel joy first. You will feel suspicion. You will feel your whole nervous system go rigid. Is this real? Is this joke? Is this mistake? Are they about to hurt me again? The 9 of Wands says you built fence, Gemini. You built it plank by plank during every silent night, every unanswered question, every time you checked your phone and saw nothing. And when their name appears on that screen, your first instinct will be to grip the fence tighter, to not let it inches, to protect the version of you that survived without them. And the deck says that reaction is valid. You are allowed to be wary. You are allowed to read it and set the phone down and walk away and come back. You are allowed to not perform composure. Your hands might shake, your breath might go shallow. You might read the message and feel nothing for 10 seconds, and then everything all at once, like a wave that hits the shore after you thought the ocean was calm. For some of you, the first physical sensation will be heat, a flush up your neck. Your ears going warm. For others, it will be cold. A dropping sensation in your stomach like an elevator losing a floor. Notice which one just registered. That's your body telling you how it will happen. The 11th card, the 2 of Cups. The first words back in Gemini, this is the most tender card in the entire deck. 2 figures facing each other, extending cups. An exchange, a meeting in the middle. The 2 of Cups says, you don't have to perform, you don't have to be cool. You don't have to have a speech prepared. When you respond, and the cards say you will respond. Not today, maybe not in the first hour, but you will meet them halfway. You will extend your cup, and what you say will be true, not strategic. Not calculated, true. For some of you, your first words back will be simple. I'm glad you reached out. 3 seconds to type. A lifetime to mean. For others, it will be a question. Why now? Not cruel, just honest. You need them to say it. You need to hear the why. And for the family thread, your first words might be silence. You might not reply for an hour, 2 hours, a day, and that's okay. The 2 of Cups doesn't demand instant response. It just says, the cups will meet. The exchange will happen. Give yourself the time your body needs. The 12th card, the 10 of Cups. the shape of what comes after, and Gemini. I almost cried turning this card. The Ten of Cups is the rainbow, the family, the arms raised, and they lived. It is the card of emotional completion, of a circle closing, of the thing that was broken being not just fixed but made more beautiful at the fracture point. Like gold in the cracks of old pottery, what comes after the message is not one conversation. It is a chapter, a slow rebuilding, a first phone call that's awkward and too short, a second one that's longer, a coffee, walk, dinner where you both talk too fast because there's so much to catch up on. For some of you, it becomes a relationship again, not the old one. New one with better foundations for others. It becomes a friendship that's deeper because you both know how fragile it is now. And for the family thread, it becomes a holiday where everyone is in the same room, where the chair is filled, where someone says your name and the whole table doesn't go quiet. The Ten of Cups says this is not a cameo. They are not popping back in to say, hey, and vanish. The cards show architecture, a structure being built, brick by brick, week by week, through the rest of August and into September and beyond. The Wheel of Fortune governs the clock here, and the wheel says today for 48 hours, not next month, not someday. The window is now Gemini, today, tomorrow, or the morning after. That is the frame the deck is giving me, and I will not soften it. The arrival will come through your phone, a text, a call, possibly both, a text first, then a call or a missed call followed by a message that says, sorry, I couldn't say it out loud. You will be doing something ordinary, washing dishes, lying in bed, walking to your car, and the phone will buzz or ring, and you will glance at it the way you glance at any notification, and then your eyes will stop, because the name is theirs. And the world will go very quiet around you. Fragments of what you'll hear per thread, the romantic thread. I should have said this sooner, I'm sorry. Can I, the friendship thread? I know it's been a while. I just needed you to know I never stopped. The family thread. Hey, are you around? I think we need to talk. I miss you. Those are the shapes, the exact words will be theirs, but the energy of those fragments is what the Ace of Swords is showing me. The message is in transit, Gemini. It is coming. Now, the reframe. And I need you to hear this one in your bones, Gemini, because this is the thing that's been poisoning your sleep for weeks, maybe months. The story you've been telling yourself in the dark. The one that sounds like, they didn't reach out because I wasn't worth reaching out to. The silence means I was easy to forget. I was a chapter they closed and walked away from without a backward glance. The cards say no. And they say it with the force of the Five of Pentacles turned on its head. The silence was never indifference. The silence was shame. They were not forgetting you. They were building a version of themselves they believed was worthy of re-entering your life. Every week of quiet was a brick they were laying. I need to be more stable before I face them. I need to have answers before I call. I need to not be the same person who left. They were earning the right to knock. And the delay, the long, aching, endless delay that made you feel invisible, was not punishment. It was incubation. You were not being forgotten. You were being prepared for. They were preparing themselves to show up at your door not as the person who left, but as someone who could finally say, I'm here, I'm sorry, I'm staying. The silence was not a closed door. It was them building the courage to walk through it, and the longer it took, the more it meant. Because a person who doesn't care reaches out casually, quickly, without weight. But a person who carries you like a stone in their chest, they take months, they take seasons, they wait until the words are heavy enough to be true, and that is what's coming to your phone, Gemini, not a casual, hey, a weighted message. A message with months of silence compressed into it. A message that cost them something to send. That is the reframe. The delay was the proof of how much you mattered. Now, tonight, you have a job to do, 4 things, and I need you to do them not because I'm being mystical for the sake of it, but because you need to shift your body out of vigilance and into reception. You cannot receive a message with clenched fists. You cannot let a door open if you're standing in the frame with your arms crossed. So tonight, before you sleep, 1, take a piece of paper. A real piece, not your phone, not a note app, paper, and write their name. The name that entered your mind during this reading. Write it once in your own handwriting, and then fold the paper twice and place it under your pillow. The reason? You have been holding their name in your teeth for weeks, clenching it, carrying it in your jaw. Your temples, the tight space behind your eyes. Writing it down and placing it under your pillow says to your body, I am setting this down for the night. I am not responsible for carrying them while I sleep. They are carrying themselves toward me. You are releasing the vigil. You are telling your subconscious. You can stop watching the horizon. They are already on the road. 2. Open a window in your bedroom. even if it's just 2 inches, even if there's a screen on it, even if the air outside is hot or cold or damp, open it and leave it open while you sleep. The reason you have been sealed, Gemini, emotionally, spiritually, energetically sealed, every month of silence. You closed another window, drew another curtain, locked another latch. You made yourself a fortress because nothing was coming in, so you'd stop expecting anything. The open window says, I unseal this space. I allow something to arrive. I will not be a locked room anymore. Let the air move. Let the night come inches, let the signal through. 3. Stand up in your room, in your kitchen, wherever you are, and say out loud to no one, to the walls, to the air, I release the story that I was forgettable. Say it once, then say it again, slower. I release the story that I was forgettable. The reason that story has been running on a loop in your chest like a broken record. Every time your phone didn't light up, the record played. Every quiet night, the needle dropped again. You believed it because the evidence seemed to support it. But the cards just showed you the evidence was wrong. They weren't forgetting, they were building. And you need to hear your own voice break the spell, your voice in your own space, saying the words your mind has been too tired to argue with. Say it. Mean it, let it echo. 4. Your phone, tonight, take it off silent. You need to hear it if it comes. But then turn it face down, screen against the nightstand, against the table, face down. The reason? You cannot spend another night watching that screen, checking it, waking at 2 and 3 and 4 am. To look at it and see nothing and feel the nothing like bruise. Face down says, I trust the arrival. I will hear it. I do not need to watch for it. You are not abandoning yourself. You are releasing the hypervigilance. You are letting the message come to you instead of you reaching for it every 20 minutes. Do all 4, tonight, before your head hits the pillow. And when it happens, and it will happen, Gemini, within this window the cards have given me, here is what you do. You do not perform composure. You do not take a breath and arrange your face and think, I should seem unbothered. You do not wait 3 hours to teach them a lesson. You let your body do what it does. If your hands shake, let them shake. If your eyes sting, let them sting. If you need to read the message 4 times before your brain processes the words, read it 4 times. Sit down if you're standing. Lean against a wall if you're walking. Let it land. Let it land in your body before you let it land in your response. And when you answer, whether it's in 10 minutes or 10 hours, you answer with your truth, not curated version. Not the version that sounds strong. Not the version that protects you by being cold, your true thing. If your true thing is, I'm glad you reached out, say that. If your true thing is, I'm still angry and I need you to know that, say that. If your true thing is silence for a day while you process, take the day. The 2 of Cups doesn't rush. It just says, when you're ready, extend your hand, and they will meet it. You do not owe them a performance. You owe yourself honesty. And the cards say, the honesty will be received. It will be held. It will be met. Now, I want to talk about what happens after. Because I know you, Gemini. I know the shape of your hope because the cards show it to me. You've hoped before. You've let yourself believe a message was coming, and it didn't come. And the not coming hurt worse than the original silence because it confirmed the story you were afraid was true. So you armored up. You said, I'm not doing that again. I'm not letting myself want it. And I honor that armor. I do. But I also need you to hear this. The cards are not showing me a single moment. A text that arrives and then nothing. A flash in the pan. A breadcrumb tossed to keep you quiet. No, the 10 of Cups is not a breadcrumb card. The 2 of Cups is not a one-time exchange. What the deck is showing me is a sequence. A chain of events. And I'm going to give you 3 signs to watch for. 3 concrete proofs that what's arriving is real and not a phantom. Because you deserve evidence. You deserve to not just trust me, but to see it unfolding with your own eyes. Sign 1. The message arrives with specifics, not a vague, hey. Not a reaction to a story, not a lazy emoji. The message that lands will contain a specific reference. A memory, an inside joke. A remember when we, or I was thinking about that time you, something that proves they sat with the words, that they built the message, not just fired it off. If it's a call, their voice will be slightly unsteady, like they rehearsed it and the rehearsal is cracking in real time. That unsteadiness is the proof. That's the 5 of Pentacles figure finally knocking. That's the Chariot arriving at the door with shaking hands. You will feel the weight behind the words. It will not be casual. It will not be light. It will land in your chest like something earned. Sign 2. The second conversation happens within 7 days. This is the one that separates a real arrival from a guilt ping. If they reach out once and then vanish again for a month, that's not the 10 of Cups. But the cards say they won't vanish. Within a week, often within 3 or 4 days, there will be a second contact, a follow-up. Did you see my message? Or, hey, I meant to call back, or can we actually talk, like, properly? The second conversation is the architecture. The second conversation is them saying, I'm not just passing through, I'm building something here. For some of you, the second conversation will be longer than the first. A phone call that was supposed to be 5 minutes and becomes 40. A text thread that goes back and forth for an hour. For others, it will be a plan. Can you do Thursday? Let's get coffee. A specific day, a specific time. Commitment put on the calendar. Sign 3. The plan gets made and kept. This is the final proof, Gemini. Not just that they say, let's meet, but that the day arrives and they show up. They don't cancel. They don't reschedule. They don't send a last minute, something came up. They are there, sitting across from you, or standing in your doorway, or on the other end of the phone at the exact time they said. And in that kept plan, you will feel the whole arc of this reading collapse into one moment, the Eight of Cups walking away, the Four of Swords lying in silence, the Moon almost reaching out, the Five of Pentacles standing in the snow, all of it resolved. In the simple fact that they showed up when they said they would, that they meant it, that the thread held, watch for those 3 signs, the specific message, the second conversation within a week. The plan that gets made and kept when all 3 land. You will know not because I told you, but because your body will tell you that the silence is over, that the chapter turned, that the person who walked away has walked back, and this time they're not leaving. And if you're watching this and thinking, but what if only one of those happens, the cards say, give it the full 48-hour window first. Don't judge the arrival at hour 2. Don't decide it's not enough at hour 10. The wheel is still turning. Let it turn now. I need something from you, Gemini, and I'm going to ask you the question I always ask, because your answer matters to me and I read every single one. Not a team, not an assistant. Me. I read every comment you leave. Here's the question. When I said your person at the very beginning of this video, in the first 10 seconds, what was the first name that entered your mind? You don't have to type it. You don't have to give me their full name. You don't have to tell me anything you're not ready to tell. But I want you to notice, did you see a face? Did face flash behind your eyes? Did you hear a voice? Did your chest do that little clench? If yes, if you saw them. Even for half a second, drop in the comments just the candle. That tells me you saw them. That tells me the reading landed in your body, and I want to know. I want to light candle back for you. And if you felt something else, if you cried, if you got angry, if you laughed because it felt too accurate, if you felt a warmth in your sternum you can't explain, tell me in the words you have. I felt it in my throat. My hands went cold. I said their name out loud and I don't know why. I read everyone. I hold everyone. You are not screaming into a void here. You are being witnessed. If you haven't subscribed, do it now, not for me. For you, because the next reading is already forming in the deck. And it's for the Gemini who missed this window. The Gemini who found this video 3 days from now. The Gemini who needed to hear it in September instead of August. Subscribe so you don't miss the next transmission. Hit the bell. Let the algorithm know you're here. Let the cards find you again. And I'll leave you with this one final thing. The thing I want you to carry into your sleep tonight, into your morning tomorrow, into every ordinary hour of the next 48. The message is already written, Gemini. The thumb is already hovering. The silence is already breaking. Your person is not a ghost. They are not a memory. They are a living, breathing, terrified human being who is about to do the bravest thing they've done in months. And they are doing it for you. Because you were worth the knocking. You were worth the snow. You were worth the months of rehearsing in the dark. Your phone is going to light up. And when it does, you will know. I'll see you in the next one, Gemini, and I'll be waiting to hear what they said. The harvest is in the barn. Go rest.